Good morning and happy Winning Wednesday. All right, guys. I talked a little bit about having like an invisible tether that keeps you stuck where you're at. And so the point of this is because a lot of what I work with people is the energetics behind income and money. So uh, if you are feeling like maybe there's a point that you've been, saying that you've wanted to hit this certain goal and you just keep barely not hitting it, or you just tiptoe over that little line but you feel like you're being pulled back. Well, there's actually a reason for that. It's because your identity is not your subconscious is not primed for that actual income that you consciously want, that you see yourself having. And what this has to do a lot with is not trusting yourself and not trusting your intuition. So I'm going to talk about a couple things here. Um, so when it feels like you're kind of being held back, like maybe there's like a glass ceiling, or like even this could go as far as like, you know what you need to do as far as the things that would push your business forward, or um, like you're wanting to do like a talk or something like that, but like everything inside of you is like, I don't want to do this. That's a block. That is something from your past. It's an emotional frequency that has been put on you from something that's probably happened in the past. Something, some sort of information you got when you were a kid, some sort of belief that you made. A decision. So the decision basically starts out when you're between the ages of 0 to 7. So you're deciding that there's something about you that maybe you feel like you're not worthy, maybe you feel like that you're not good enough, that you have to protect yourself, um, or even like the way that you grew up. Like if you were very like middle of the road, like you weren't poor, you weren't rich, but you were just kind of, like what I would call like blue collar, like you're making it, like your family's making it, you have food on the table, but it's like you can't afford like the luxurious things. Or perhaps that in your community, like maybe you grew up poor and there was a lot of scarcity behind that. The scarcity of when the next meal is going to come, like if you're going to stay in the same house, if you're going to have to pack up and move, uh, and even like if you were brought up in a wealthy household, like money doesn't matter, like um like it's hard for me to tap into this because like I didn't come from that. I didn't come from wealth. I came from like we were okay, but we weren't, you know, spending money wildly. So even if you grew up in a situation where you were able to spend money wildly, you have a belief behind money that it's easy, it comes, like it's always going to be there. And when it's not, guess what? That's very uncomfortable, right? So, uh, when we have these things that we're in our environment that we're exposed to, like as a young child, we're making this decision that this is all how it's always going to be, like that we um will put ourselves in a situation, especially if we were one of those middle of the road people, that too much wealth is a bad thing, because then you have like these presupposed notions of like rich people being assholes or greedy, or that they had to do something bad to get to where they are. Um, and then you may have preconceived notions about people that are poor, that they live off the government, or that they, um, let's see, what else could have been like a something that was told to you, like they're lazy. Um, Meanwhile, like a lot of people that are in like a lower income bracket, like they will have two or three jobs just to get by. So it's, like these are false programs that were put on us when we were younger, and we thought them to be true. So when we try to break out of that, when we try to um move on from like the middle of the road to the wealthy, our subconscious mind, if it's not down with that, it sabotages you. It's going to tell you that, don't you remember that we said that rich people were bad? Don't you remember that we said that we were greedy? We don't want to be seen that way, right? So it's essentially, it's like an invisible tether. So what happens is, if you feel like this messaging is going on in the back of your head, and that they you can't be up here because of this, and you can't be down here because of that, like you essentially are always going to create your world being middle of the road, to just barely having enough, just barely scraping by. You're only paying your bills and nothing more. So that might look like spending more money than you meant to, or being in like crushing debt, or maybe like every time you get a little bit of bump in money from like a new client or something, then an unexpected bill comes in. It's like you're creating this world where you're always in just barely enough, like struggle. So why is this so hard to break through? Like why do we do this to ourselves? Because it's a stressful situation. It's not comfortable, and we know that. But your subconscious mind does not give a shit about your happiness. Like it doesn't care if you're, you know, penciled in, fitting into the right jeans, looking good, if you're like wealthy, if like, because it's primarily its main thing is to keep you safe, and like make sure that you're some of the basic needs, like you need food, you need water, you need shelter, you need companionship, like you need like community. If you are going up outside of your income bracket that you're comfortable with your subconscious mind, it being comfortable in a certain income bracket, because it believes that perhaps if you become wealthy, then you're going to lose all your friends. You're not going to be in community with those same people anymore, or that people will hate you, or that they'll steal from you and then you lose all your friendships, or that they'll come after you asking for money. So these are some of the things that may actually be like programmed in the back of your mind, that unless you clean it up, unless you actually cut that tether, you're always going to find yourself in that same situation, that same space. So if you're having that inner voice or that gut feeling, when we talk about intuition, like we have generally four voices that go on inside of our head. We have our inner child, which is essentially wanting to get certain needs met that it didn't get met when it was a child. You have your ego, which is all about looking good. You have your inner critic, which essentially is telling you that you're stupid if you do something like that made you feel bad or look bad or whatever, or you made a mistake. Like it's beating you up all the time, or like if you don't want to call it critic, you can call it the inner judge, right? And then we have our intuition. So the problem with our intuition, like I wouldn't say it's a problem, but our intuition is always looking out for your you. Like it's looking out for you and wants the best for you. It's always kind. It's always right. However, like, it might slap you up against the face. It might give you some hard truths. But it's the thing is, like, we all have this inner knowing. We all have this intuition. And sometimes that gets stifled out by those other three voices. Like we're so used to talking down to ourselves and beating ourselves up and thinking that we're stupid and not worthy and that we can't have these certain things, and basically snuff out the intuition talking. We can't hear it. We're not tapped into it. So when we're never listening to it, then your intuition starts to think, well, what's use? Like why keep trying to hammer this in? It starts to get quieter, or it starts to not give you as many hits, or you're so like disconnected from your body and living outside of your body that you don't notice a hit. Like you that gut feeling, that's an intuitive hit for a lot of people, for me too. So if you have like something that maybe is telling you that, like if you've ever had like something that you just knew it wasn't a good idea, but you did it anyway. And then you found out it was a bad idea. Hello, I should have listened to myself. Or like you knew that somebody was, and I'm getting comments, but I can't see, guys. But you just knew like this person was bad for me, or that I shouldn't have gone down this road, or that you knew that your boyfriend or girlfriend was cheating on you. Like, so these are things, they're intuitive hits. And they come up, and technically sometimes like we just don't listen to them, and then it doesn't really know. But you just Oh, there's Victoria. Hi, Victoria. So when we can actually tap into this, when we start to practice listening to our intuition a lot more, then it's like, again, building a muscle. Like all of this work is building a muscle, but it guides you. It's like a deep knowing that's guiding you towards your highest good. It's the wisdom that will whisper like, you're going in the right direction, or maybe this is not truly aligned with your soul's purpose. Like we all have that inner knowing. And conversely, we also have spirit guides and ancestors and, different, otherworldly realms that will talk to us too. So these things, like until we can tap into them, until we can release some of the other mental chatter that goes on, so we're not constantly defaulting to that the other three voices, the inner critic and all that, we'll continue to put ourselves in the same situations. So when we're choosing to like really ignore our intuition, and we especially with society, like we're taught to prioritize logic, we're thinking with our head, we're like they've even said that the longest journey that you can make is from your head to your heart. So it's because we're programmed and conditioned to want facts, we want evidence, we want to know the outcome, we want to have a guarantee in writing that this is going to pan out the way that we want. So we ignore our intuition, and then we start to get this cycle of self-doubt, and we second guess, and then we disconnect. And then we start to question our decisions and seek approval from others, or we play small to avoid making mistakes. Everything we put outside of us. We look to others for confirmation. Like we look to others, like we put them above ourselves. And then when it comes to money, we're having this lack of trust in our intuition, which again, it's damaging. It keeps us in that same cycle of just not hitting that income goal. We're staying stuck. And that can look like undercharging for our services, or maybe we're not taking the risks that we know that like would get us there, like taking a loan out on like a second loan on your house, or racking up more debt. We settle for less than we deserve because we don't fully trust our inner guidance. So again, your intuition, it's like a muscle. It's your most powerful asset. The more that you tap into it, the more that it'll become your guiding compass. The more that it'll, the voice becomes louder, where it'll whisper those secrets to your success. And it's hard because, we have all these other voices and other things that are going on inside of our heads that, then again, we doubt ourselves. We don't trust what we're hearing, and we can't discern from what is our intuition and what is our ego or our inner critic or our inner child that's talking. But, like there's a way to build this muscle. So one of the biggest things is to tap into yourself and tap into your body. So, a lot of people have trouble meditating because we're so used to like busyness and like, I gotta do this, and once I'm done with this, and having a checklist of things that you gotta do right after you complete this thing, and we're overwhelmed by dings and notifications and to-do lists. So actually give yourself that space. Like it could be starting out with 5 minutes every morning, or spending some time out in stillness, like in nature. Like right now it's cold for a lot of people. It's cold in Texas, but maybe you could bundle yourself up and just like listen to the leaves like hitting each other in the wind. Just creating like a space for stillness. And then you want to pay attention to your body, like visual or not visual cues, like physical cues. Is your gut the one that tells you that something is good or bad? For me, like I'll get hits, like it's in the form of like eye twitching too. Like I have it noted to myself and to my guides that, like if my eye twitches on the left, that is no. If the eye twitches on the right, that's yes. So that's something that you could do. Like you could affirm it and speak it out loud that, this is how I want to feel this. This is how I would like to be guided. This is how I want things to show me the way. So you can start to exercise that and tap into it more. If you do like muscle testing is also something that you can do, even like with food. Like, is this good for me or is this bad for me? Like, should I eat this today or should I not eat this today? You can hold it in your, like, smell it, hold it in your chest area and stand and see if your body moves forward, which would mean a yes, or backwards, which would mean a no. And some things, like, your body's like, hell no, that's super bad for me, and you'll freaking fly backwards. Like, these are all things, like, because we are our own, masters, where we are driving force. We know what is good and bad. It's just like sometimes we choose not to listen to it. And then really following your joy. So follow the things that light you up. Follow the things that give you energy, not drains your energy. So your intuition is always going to guide you towards the path of true fulfillment and taking those actions. So again, we get an intuitive hit. We sometimes know that, maybe this thing is not good for me. And we choose to go the other direction anyways. We choose to take what's seemingly like the harder route. So to actually take little small steps towards those hits, you're building a trust with yourself. Your intuition is always there waiting to guide you. So by learning to trust it, you'll break through those income ceilings. You'll create abundance. You'll create purpose. You'll create joy. So one thing I did want to touch on, because like there are some lies when it comes to transformation. Like there is no end to transformation. There is no, you're never going to be completely, like, I don't want to say fixed, because we're not broken. None of us are broken, but there's never a stopping point. When it comes to transformation, there's always something that's going to be deeper. It's like the onion. You peel the layers, the outer layers back, and then you come down to the deeper things that deserve to be released. But there's always going to be something deeper. And that's one of the big lies that's kind of out there that people teach with transformation. Like there's not like one program, one thing that you're going to do and just be like, I'm arrived. I'm a different person now. Like it's a constant work on yourself. Constant. And, we deserve to find what works best for us. We deserve to flex our muscle to continue to work on it. Like, because even with me, like I still have sabotaging thoughts that come up in my head. It's not that it's not ever going to be there again. But it's choosing to continue to work on it. It's choosing to take this thought that comes up and reframing it, or not sitting in it for a long time. Like it's normal to have the thought, acknowledge the thought, and release it. It does not deserve to stay there and cause you suffering. You don't have to suffer. Like things don't have to be hard. You can choose to have things come about in different ways, and to look at like, the way you react to things in different ways. So it's like brushing your teeth. You can't expect to brush your teeth for 6 weeks and then never have to brush your teeth again. Or working out. Like you can't expect to work out for 6 weeks and just be good for the rest of your life. I'm gonna be fit for the rest of my life. It's a practice. We have to keep practicing. We get to, I should say, we get to keep practicing. So that's one big lie. That's one big lie that is out there, that this program, this thing, it's going to fix all your problems. And when we start to believe that we're just going to be magically fixed, then we get to the end and we're like, what the fuck? I'm still me. I'm still the same way. What the heck? It's essentially like you're pulling the wool over your eyes. Like you're saying that you're going to be fixed at the end, and then when you're not fixed at the end, that you're like, well, I guess I'm just broken forever. We don't need a, that's not a thought that we need to have in our head. So let's see. I'm getting other comments. I'm gonna look and see if I can't find it. But you just knew, like, hey, Esteban. All right. So let me try to think, because there's some other things that I wanted to talk about as far as like transformation and some of the lies on that. But we talked about you needing to work that muscle, continue to do the work, like, because it's never ending. And that's not like, I'm not saying that so that it's like a bad thing either, because, like, I don't want you to see it as like I'm always going to be stuck in this situation, that I'm always going to be here, like that I shouldn't do anything about it, because what's the point? The point is having one step forward is better than not moving at all, than staying stagnant or taking steps back. Yeah, another lie is that, having insight is enough. That, I'm bringing awareness to this. So now that I'm aware, okay, like we're good. Like I acknowledge the thought. But what does that do? Like, you're acknowledging the thought. I noticed the thought. Yes, awareness is a very, very important first step. It's important to start there, but you deserve to turn it into a different direction. We don't have to stay in the same reaction. We can even do some like, you notice a thought that comes up and dropping into our body. We notice our breath. We notice how deep are we taking our breath into our stomach, or is it all in our chest? Are we holding our breath? So take a few seconds to just tap in and breathe all the way down into your stomach. Or taking your fingertips and just barely feeling the ridges on your fingertips between each other. Or if you're not driving, like sometimes I'll do these while I'm driving, but not this one. It's taking the fingers across your palm. So tapping back into your body. So it's not enough to just acknowledge. We get to do something about it. And then the other lie is that I can do this alone. And, it's funny because, I'm in a lot of communities with a lot of other healers and a lot of other coaches. And one of the biggest things that I hear come up that we like to tell ourselves is that I do this work for other people, so I'm good, or that I should be able to do it on myself too. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work when you're inside the jar. When you're inside the jar, you can't read the label that's on the outside. You get to come outside of that jar. You get to have somebody else that guides you, somebody that helps you to notice the things that maybe you don't see. You can be the best healer in the world and still be like in disarray because you can't, it's hard to do the work on yourself. So that's anybody. Like, it's, if you don't have somebody from the outside showing you and noticing things for you and guiding you and keeping you accountable, then you tend to fall off. Like it's a practice that falls off. So these are just some things to notice. I gave you a few tools to drop into your body, like just noticing your breath. You can even notice like the temperature of your breath as it comes in your nose and then out of your nose. But we get to drop into our bodies. Like we're so outside of our bodies right now. That's a lot to do with like the anxiety and everything that's going on. So just take that noticing, practicing, and reach out for help, reach out for I'm here to help you. And that being said, tomorrow is the last day to grab the gifts in the Success Mastery giveaway. So there's a ton of gifts that from me, from other healers, from business strategy, like there's all sorts of coaches and people and healers and everybody that's in there that are giving away free gifts, like gifts that would cost ordinarily like hundreds of dollars. So that is the last day tomorrow to grab those gifts. So if you want to, I'll drop the link. Grab that real quick. I'll drop the link if you want to go grab the gifts now before they go away. The other thing is on the 29th, which is what? 2 Wednesdays from now. I'm doing a masterclass and we're going to go super deep into income blocks, into success blocks. So we're going to look at some of the things that are holding you back and we're going to release some of those. We're going to do an exercise. We're also going to, this is like vision planning on steroids. So this is where we get to, you know, it's not like a little vision board exercise that you go and do and then never look at again. Like this is like implanting it in your subconscious mind so that you actually hit your goal. So these are things that we're going to be doing next Wednesday at noon. So Central Time. So if you have not jumped into that, go register for the Zoom now so that I can email you the link before we start. So you can register now. It doesn't start until the 29th, but hop on that and let me grab that link as well. I love when I just start talking about things and then I don't have the links ready. Here we go. All right. So dropping this now. Oh, hey, now I can see y'all's comments. Hey, everyone. Yeah, so register so that you get a notification before it starts. And yeah, that's everything I got, guys. I really hope you have an amazing rest of your week. And let's work like on this stuff together. Like we deserve to release this stuff. We deserve to bring ourselves up, like our vibration energetically. We deserve to live in a life that is abundant. So I hope to see you guys there, and I will see you no matter what next Wednesday. Bye. Have an amazing week.